And I have for years sat here and I have said that I disagree with anything the other candidates do. And you continue repeatedly to say that my candidate is not fit for office. You repeatedly say that my candidate is not right for office. You repeatedly say that I'm not right to say that he's right for office. Folks, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump whether you like it or not. I'm going to vote for him. I'm going to stand by him. I think his policies are okay. I think what he stands for is okay. And if you don't like it, that's your problem. Because I'm not making fun of who you're voting for. And in fact, nobody has told me why they want to vote for who they want to vote for. They just tell me who I want to vote for is wrong. They don't say, Wade, this is why I want to vote for who I want to vote for. They don't do that. They just say that my candidate is wrong and that I'm wrong for wanting to vote for him. Folks, that's wrong in so many ways. That's wrong in so many details. That's wrong in so many areas. I disagree with some of the other things that are going on. And that's the way it is, folks. We're going to start this program this week with probably me complaining about a lot of things. www.thewadeshow.com, www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com. Oh, my cigar. Oh, I have my tea heater. I have my cigar here. This week has been a busy week. I've watched some of the debates that have been going on. I've watched some of the news that people have sent me in my email. I've read some of the things that people have sent me. I've done the research, and as I begin to do this, I begin to get emails in still about me voting for Donald Trump. One of these emails caught my eye because it talks about how the person punches a African American gentleman in the face as he's being escorted out. Then he's arrested. Well, what's the rest of the video? What did they do? That's my first question. The second question is, why is it okay to focus on that? Isn't there anything else that we can focus on? I realize, and I'm going to say this out loud, and I'm going to say this for everybody to realize, that it's wrong to punch somebody in the face. Let me say it again so you get it through your head. It is wrong to punch somebody in the face. Let me say it again. It is wrong to punch somebody in the face. Now, I'll say it a fourth time. It's wrong to punch somebody in the face. Now that we know that it's wrong to punch somebody in the face, and it's wrong to punch and act like this and do all these things and typical things that we're seeing, let's get down to the point that people are disrupting stuff and Donald Trump refuses to have it. Again, I would have slipped that in there. It's wrong to punch people and act like a racist. But I don't think that's the reason they're doing this. There's other people that have been escorted out, and they're not focusing on them. There's other people that have disrupted his talk, his speeches, his addresses, his time to do what he wants to do. That's his time. He's probably paid to have his time there, or set it up that way so that it's his time. Let's give him his time. There's a thing online with Obama responding to his criticizers. So has Donald Trump. They don't show it. So again, just like the police officers that are shown doing something wrong, when they don't show the whole entire video. This again is a section of video showing somebody being escorted out. They all are. And again, so you get it through your head. Get it through your head. It's wrong that that guy punched that person. He was also probably tended to, but they don't videotape that. There's been a lot of people that have been tended to that they're not sending their videos. Another email catches my eye is them telling me that they no longer can be associated with me if I vote for Donald Trump. In other words, you're not going to be a friend of mine. You're going to make your acquaintance go somewhere else. Well, that's fine. That's fine. If you think that me voting for Donald Trump is worth losing my friendship over, it's worth losing my acquaintances over, it's worth you leaving my life, then that's up to you. That's your problem. Because it's not to me, man. I don't care. Who you vote for is your personal choice. I've said this many times. Your personal choice. It should be no one else's. It's like how you wipe your ass is your personal choice. It's no one else's business how you wipe your ass. Then why should voting be somebody else's business? That's why it's done in private, because it's no one else's business. I just happen to be a big mouth talk show host here, and I want to tell you who I'm voting for because I want the information out there. It's a topic to talk about. It's something that is part of my life, and that's what I do as a talk show host. I talk, and part of talking is telling you what I'm going to do. You don't have to send me mail telling me that you're going to leave my friendship or my acquaintance or whatever it is that you're going to get out of my life because of my choices. That's stupid. And anyways, if you're that stupid to do that, then maybe I don't want to be the friend or the acquaintance or have you in my life in the first place. Or if anybody does that to somebody, they shouldn't have that person around them or involved with their life. They just shouldn't. Now, what other things can we do? We can look at this this phone thing here we got. It shows that we have some callers. It shows that the callers are coming in. Now, I don't know if it's going to be like last week where they're full of intelligence or they're not full of intelligence. I don't know. But we can try to see about that. We could try to see if any of these people have any intelligence larger than that of a snail, because that's what I think my audience, some of my audience, at least the audience that's calling in and causing problems, have the intelligence of a snail. Maybe they have an intelligence of an ant, but an ant's pretty intelligent, so maybe they don't. I mean, a snail's pretty intelligent too. So maybe they have the intelligence of dirt, but dirt is intelligent. Dirt helps trees grow and plants grow, so that's really that's an intelligent choice the dirt's making. So I don't know what they're, they have the intelligence of salt on the road maybe, but salt on the road is intelligent enough to stay there and help us so we don't have icy roads. So with that said, I'm looking at this thing, and I'm just going to do random again. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'll start at the top. Let's start at the top and see what callers we have. And so we're going to go to the phones here. Let's see. Caller, welcome to the program. Okay, that was really intelligent. Bang the phone and hang up. That's really intelligent. Like I said, these people don't have much intelligence that are doing this, folks. They don't. They must not. They really don't. But we have other callers, so let's go back to the phones. Hello, you're on the Wade Show. Well, that was our idiot who likes laughing into the phone. I'm sorry about that, folks. We got another caller. Let's go to the phone again. Okay, that's real mature. That's real mature. Absolutely, positively mature to make fart noises and butt noises in my phone. This is getting to be really, really, really fun, folks. Really fun. We have callers again on the line. So I'm just going to go right down the line and let's see how much of an idiot people can be. Let's see how many idiots we have. Well, let's do this randomly. Let's do this one. Hello, caller.
Hello, I got a comment. Black niggas hostile. When I don't
am listening to you if you have something intelligent to say. Do you have something intelligent to say?
What the hell are you talking about? Now listen here. I called the other day, and I want to talk about your rate. Now this is a serious issue.
Well, I think we're going to end the phone call right there. Because we're not going to talk about ratings. We're not going to talk about funny stuff. We're not going to talk about your opinion of me. I don't think that has anything to do with anything, folks. We know the show is good. We know that I put out a good product. So my ratings don't have anything to do with anything. It doesn't matter what they are. It doesn't matter what they were last week. Last week you called, and last week we hung up on you because you were probably doing the same thing. You were making fun. You were saying something. You were acting ignorant. You were acting dumb. You were acting stupid. Whatever the list of things you were acting, that's why you were hung up on. And I'm not afraid to hang up on people who do this, folks. I'm not afraid to do it. I'm not afraid of my ratings. So whatever you're talking about, the ratings last week and calling in last week, if you did something that was stupid or dumb, then that's what you get. That's what you get. That's what you get when you want to do something dumb. That's an example, folks, of somebody that's unhappy because they did something that was dumb. They're unhappy because they did something that was stupid. They were unhappy because they did something that was ignorant, that was not intelligent, that was not good for our show, and we hung up on them. Plain and simple. You're going to do this stuff, we're going to get you, we're going to hang up on you. We're going to get to you, and you're going to get mad. We're going to get you in the ass, so to speak, okay? And you're going to get mad, you're going to get upset, but that's the way it is, because this program is going to have good programming. My networks want it, I want it, the listeners want it, the viewers want it. Folks, if you want to go up to our archives and hear what was said last week or any of the weeks, you can go up to www.thewadeshow.com. You can also go up to www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com. They have archives on my site and the network site. Don't forget to check those out. Also, the other shows on Diversity. Don't forget to check out the other stuff we have for you. So that again is www.thewadeshow.com and www.diversitybroadcasting.com. Let's see what we're going to do here. I'm going to take one more phone call. One more. So I'm going to grit my teeth. I'm going to bite my bottom lip. I'm going to hold my breath and hope it's a good call. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hello?
Yes, hello. Do you have something to say? I can hardly hear you. Would you please speak up in the phone?
Hello?
Yes, again, I can hardly hear you. So you're going to have to speak a little louder or something. I can hear you. Go ahead and say what you want to say.
Hey, I just gotta say to all your audience out there, I'm your number one caller. You know what I'm saying?
No, actually, I don't know what you're saying because I'm hanging up on you. You're not there to say anything intelligent. You're my number one caller. Well, that probably means you're a pain in the butt. You're a pain in the ass. You're a pain in the neck. Whatever kind of pain you are. Number one caller. I don't understand. I can hardly hear you. I don't know what you're talking about. My audience can't hear you. And there's no sense in trying to get anything out of you because you're going to talk however you want to talk anyways. So it doesn't matter. So, with that said, we're coming up on a break. So www.thewadeshow.com, www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com. Folks, we'll be right back right after this. And here we are back. And in my hand that I'm shuffling around is an email. And in this email, it says, and I'm quoting it word for word, I'm reading it right off the paper. It'd be better off if you were dead than to vote for Donald Trump. You have a very poor taste. And then it goes on to say what my poor taste is in politics. Right here in my hand, folks. And from my hand, it goes into the recycling bin because that's unacceptable. Now, I can see why you think it's unacceptable. I can see your viewpoints here in the email. That email that I just threw in the garbage, the recycling bin, the place where paper goes when it's no longer needed by me, brought up some interesting points, interesting tidbits, interesting stuff. But I disagree with how it started off. I disagree how it made fun of me, how it insulted me, how it angered me. Now, I could go through some other feelings of sadness and grief and all this other garbage that I have for you people writing me this, because I think you people are nuts. I think there's something wrong with you in your head. I think there's something wrong with you mentally to write to somebody, to a human being, and tell them that they are better off dead. What kind of people do we have listening to this program? Do we have the idiots, the dumb, the stupid? Or do we have the mean, the raging maniacs, and the psychotic listening to this program? It's an interesting question. It would be interesting to know if this person who I'm keeping anonymous would call into the program so we can discuss it live right here for your ears to hear, folks. www.thewadeshow.com is where you can send me an email. If you must, if you have to, if it's the last thing on earth you do, you can do it there. WDBN Radio on TuneIn.com as a rebroadcast of this show on Fridays. Our show can be found www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com. And I'm coming off this break a little puzzled onto the new question is not the dumb, the stupid, and the idiotic, and the foolishness and the silliness and the crap that we deal with on the phone. I'm wondering what psych level you're at, what level your mentality is at. Do some of you need some professional help? Do some of you need to see a therapist, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a mental facility coordinator for the stuff that you write to me? I'm glad you write to me instead of physically going up to me and telling me this stuff. That's altercational type stuff right there, folks. That stuff, it causes fights, it causes wars, it causes mental anguish, mental anger, mental frustration, but I'm not going to let it get to me. Just like I don't let the toilet flushing into my ear on the phone get to me. I'm not going to let emails like that get to me. But that's the only one I had it during the break. That's the only email I had almost the entire program here that I haven't set out already to talk about, that I got during the course of the last time that you heard my voice. I almost get about a daily dose of emails telling me how dumb or wrong I am, as well as a daily dose of how wonderful and right I am. So it's kind of evening itself out. I encourage you to go on Twitter. I encourage you to go on Facebook. I encourage you to go on YouTube and subscribe to me. You can find more information about subscribing and joining all of that stuff at www.thewadeshow.com. Now, I'm going to have to settle down a little bit here because it's kind of, I'm getting in a frustration and anger mode. It's kind of like those funeral feelings. You get sad and grieved that somebody would say that to you. Then you start getting angry. and mad. And then you begin to accept it. And then instead of accepting it, you begin to go on with your life knowing that the person is a total idiot who wrote it, and total stupid, total moron, total whatever I can call them. Then it moves on to me accepting it. Then it moves on to me realizing that people are just that way. So, www.thewadeshow.com. What else do we have here? Going off the break, some emails here, some news. I think I'm going to go into the news first because I know what the emails are about. I know what we're doing with that. PETA is in the news here. PETA is really, 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 not only did we see them, not only did we hear them, not only did we fluctuate to their level as I light my cigar, but they have really done it now. They got some stuff out about people traveling, and it's just it's repulsive. It really is. Coming off the break, folks, www.thewadeshow.com, 607-238-3816 is the phone number. Note it may change. I'm working on that. But anyways, here we go with the PETA news. I thought we'd get into it. Thought we'd get in the bundle of the news after the break, like I said. And here it is, about traveling. An explosive report revealed that more than 500,000 exotic animals are enslaved worldwide in tourism industry. Now this comes out when we're ready to go on our school breaks. People are getting into the vacation mode right after March. AAA and a few other, Apple Travel I think is here. They all got these Disney vacations going on. They all got these go see the world vacation type things. 2016, da-da-da-da-da. And away from the elections, they want to push traveling. They did this last year. They did this the year before. All of a sudden, with what's happening in the news and in politics and everything, people want to travel. We just saw where Barack Obama, our President of the United States, went over to Cuba. And now people want to go to Havana. We saw some other things happening in France and Italy. Now people want to travel there. We see some other things happening recently that's very tragic. People want to know what's going on. It's just the way it is. For the last 3 years, since 2012 actually, we've had this travel buff, this travel means all over. So here PETA puts out this, and we know what PETA is, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. And before I get into this, I have nothing wrong with people treating animals correctly. There's nothing wrong with animals not being abused and people standing up for animal rights and human rights and all this other stuff. But this is sickening. This is stupid. This is dumb. This is horrific. I can't even think of the words to call some of this stuff. And some of this stuff on this list is just dumb. Especially the zoos and the aquariums and the theme park one of it. Talking about how Six Flags and Disney World tortures their animals. SeaWorld tortures their animals. Busch Gardens tortures their animals. We've seen this before, but this goes above and beyond. It first talks about photos with animals. In India with elephants. Roadside attractions with tigers. China has a tiger park where you can have pictures with tigers, and zoos like Busch Gardens and Washington, D.C., and a few of the other zoos that are out there are starting to have pictures with animals because they can't do animal rides anymore. We saw that with the lack of elephants. Now they're doing elephant photos and snake photos. SeaWorld's having photos with dolphins and seals and the walrus and all of these animals, parrots, and talking about how tiger cubs are tortured. And when they get bigger, they learn to hate human beings because of the way they're treated as baby tigers with the public. I don't think that's true at all. I think you can probably have a tiger that's nice enough to have a picture with somebody. A lot of places do that, but the tiger is drugged. I disagree with that part. I disagree with drugging an animal. It does talk about that. To make it less behavioral, natural behaviors less, to make it more timid, to make it more successful in the picture taking. I disagree with this. I disagree with how it happens and why it happens. But this is what they're talking about. So what? It's extra income. Nobody's being hurt. And all of these picture taking and all of these rides, animal rides, and all of this special swim with the dolphins and stuff. It's on here talking about that as well, that SeaWorld, that swim with the dolphins, and all of this other stuff. No one's ever been injured. I've never heard of a case yet that somebody's been injured from these things. We now move on to food, exotic foods. Live eating of octopus and live eating of fish. It's disgusting, but that's a tradition and a culture of another country, folks. It says here also coffee extracted from the a animal here. It's called Palm Civet, and extracted from elephants. They have some that are extracted from exotic other animals, such as birds, and they make coffee out of their poop. Literally, the bird or animal poops the coffee beans and seeds. They then, I guess, clean them up and then make coffee out of them. I don't understand it. I think it's sick. It makes me sick to my stomach to even think about eating something out of another animal's ass or the backside of an animal, or the waste of an animal being food. But it talks about how the animals are ill cared for, and all they want them for is the exotic amounts of money you can get for coffee, and it's true. You can pay up to $100 for a cup of coffee that comes from the poop, the ass, the back end of an elephant. I don't understand it. I don't think it's right. I don't know what possesses the human mind to want to go somewhere and do that. But I guess for the rich, or for the people that can afford it, I guess maybe the rich is a bad word, because maybe there's other people that are affording it. Maybe it's not just fancy for the rich anymore. As you can hear, I'm getting emails already. Or it's my phone system going off telling me that there's stuff in the phone, in the works for the phone. I hear somebody's calling in to bitch about the fact that we see animal poo and everything in our coffee. Well, I hope to God that people are not actually, sticking their hands up the animal's back end to get the waste, or hurting the animal in any way. But I don't see how an animal could take a dump and then you put it in something to clean it up and extract the seeds and coffee and everything out of beans, or the waste material for your coffee. I don't understand that. Here's some stuff on fun. It mentions dolphins, swimming with dolphins. Dolphins are hurt. Dolphins are mistreated. The public does not know how to care for the dolphin, doesn't care about the dolphin's safety when they do this. I bet you they do. There's therapies where handicapped children are put into the waters with the dolphins and their limbs begin to move, arms and legs, and they begin to speak when they wouldn't speak before. So why are you after a therapy like this that would help somebody or somebody's child? Your child is paralyzed, it has a severe disability. You put it in the water and the disabilities go away. And it starts interacting with the dolphin and learning how to do things. What's so bad about that? Well, they say that the dolphin is being tortured. That they use electric shocks to do stuff with them. They use hurtful means of not feeding them. If they're misbehaved that day, they don't get food. The tourists are the only ones that feed the dolphins. So if no one buys food that day, the dolphin doesn't eat. Well, that's a petting zoo nightmare that's happened since I was a child. That petting zoos would have food for the animals, and the public buys, as I puff on a cigar and begin to choke, buys the food for the animal, the camel, the goats, the sheep. I've seen giraffe, I've seen hippos, I've seen elephants in some cases at a petting thing where you can buy food and feed the elephant carrots and stuff. At the state fairs and at the county fairs and at the other public venues, they have these things where you can feed animals and see them. Now it goes on also, the other treatments like horseback riding and all this stuff hurts the animals. Carriage rides, which maybe the Amish are torturing their animals, I don't know. They're talking about using horses in tourism to run around arenas and stuff, Clydesdales on big beer wagons. They have these competitions at the state fair here. They have them in the Pennsylvania State Fair. I know some other fairs that have competitions like this. They're talking about pony rides. Other things where horses and equestrian type animals are used for the public in some kind of a tourist fashion. Rides in Europe, it says here, in England and Italy. It's saying about New York City, how you can spend $10 for a carriage ride, which isn't true. It's like $50 for a carriage ride. But horses collapse. We saw a story about this last year. The horse had a medical heart problem. I don't know if it's a heart attack in animals or what it was. But the horse collapsed on the ground. Well, people collapse on the ground all the time. And we don't say a damn thing about them and their harsh work conditions. But we will about a horse. A horse has been used since eternity. The beginning of time, horses have been used to pull carriages, to pull wagons, to work. And now these people, PETA, wants to yell and scream about it. I don't understand it. I can see if the horse is being mistreated. I can see if the people are mistreating the horses or animals. Or I've seen the public go up and try to feed horses stuff they're not supposed to eat, like candy bars and food, donuts, and everything that horses are not supposed to eat or have. I've seen it at petting zoos, animals eating paper and French fries and stuff they're not supposed to eat. Candies and chocolates and gum. But that's the tourist for you. That's when the person has to have the responsibility enough to know what the animals are doing. And with today's thing of cameras and all this stuff being used everywhere, why can't it be used in these things? It talks about animals and dogs being... people on vacation want to have their dogs taken, so they keep them in shelters and caged up in airports. Talking about zoos and aquariums, like I mentioned before, that for the public, they'll do anything to get the public dollar, which is not true. There's certain rules we got to have. Talks about snakes being injured, reptiles being put in unprofessional environments for the animal. It shows here, tells a story about a camel. During camel rides, the animal was hit by the trainer or the handler. The people on the camel kicked the camel, made fun of the camel, pulled its hair. Folks, this happens, okay? We've all seen it. Camel ride at the circus or something. Some little kid wants to be a total terror. Well, the animal's used to it, folks. And yes, the kid should be taken off the ride, and I've seen some denied rides because they've done it before, or they recognize the parents, and you brought down one kid, well, the other kids, well, they're not my kids, they're my friend's kids. Well, your kids did it, so your kid's not going on the camel ride or the elephant ride at the circus. I've seen it. And I've seen it taken care of. I saw one parent talking to security, and security walked her back to her seat, wouldn't let her kids out near any of the animals because he was acting so bad. So there are precautions. There are things out there that are done. There are things out there that are in the works for somebody that wants to be a total idiot and dumb near these animals. Carriage rides and all that, the horses are taken care of. I know that for a fact. I just don't understand why PETA is doing this. PETA also has another story here about circus escapes animals escaping from the circus this year. Already they're starting that again. And PETA here has some more stuff about SeaWorld, Busch Gardens now, Disney, and they have some other zoos here of what they've done wrong with animals and how they continue to abuse animals, keep them in enclosures that are not big enough for... You can't replicate nature anyways, and half these animals are born in this environment. Almost 80% of the animals in zoos today have been born in the zoo, have been living in the zoo all their life. Their parents have. And they're born. Syracuse Zoo, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., the Bronx Zoo, Buffalo Zoo. I know the Miami. I know one in Dallas. Cincinnati Zoo in Ohio. We have some other zoos in Maryland, which is the Washington, D.C. Zoo, but there's another one down there. These zoos are a zoological society. And they belong to a certain organization where they have rules that they must strictly, by punishment, they will have punishment brought upon them, the wrath of God, so to speak, if they do anything wrong within this zoological society. So I doubt these circuses are animals that belong to this group. And the zoos and game farms and the roadside attractions and the other stuff that belong to these organizations are not going to let them get away with a lot. SeaWorld's one of them where they will very routinely check on them. In fact, they will have people go in there, volunteers most of the time with their families on vacation, and report what the animals are doing, report what's going on, report how the environment is just for the person. Busch Gardens and SeaWorld, owned by Budweiser, Busch, Anheuser-Busch, the Anheuser Corporation, they're methodically, routinely scrutinized. They are put on a pedestal, so to speak, higher than anybody else. And the minute they do something wrong, the Six Flags is the same way. It's another organization. Disney is another one. The minute something goes wrong, they're immediately tended to about it. They're immediately pulled in the office. They're immediately dictated on what to do and change and how to behave immediately. It's like taking a child who's misbehaving in Walmart and immediately taking them out of the store, immediately doing something to make sure that child behaves. That's how these zoos and zoological organizations, zoological programs are run. So this is just something that surprises me. It's something that I think is very, very hurtful. I think it's very, very misleading. I think not only is it misleading, but it's very, very stupid in the fact that we see this come up all the time. I just don't understand why some of the stuff is done the way it is, I guess. I don't understand why the programs are run the way they are. Is done the way we see some stuff. And here you're going to hear me ripping up the papers that I have that I'm reading from. With a few emails that are unnecessarily being sent to me. Again. Unnecessary emails. I'm not going to get into reading the emails that are hurtful anymore. Some of your emails are absolutely disgusting. I don't even know how you get away with writing them. I don't even know how a person could think of writing them in such a way. Here we go, folding up some more papers. Let's get them out of the way. Let's get all this hurtful emails out of the way. And some of these emails, two of these emails that I just ripped up, literally you just heard me do it. We're talking about how the listeners are stupid for listening to me. So now they're making fun of my listeners. Now they're making fun of our viewers Now they're making fun of the people like you that come to this show every week on a weekly, bi-weekly, tri-weekly basis here. A big part of the program is you, the listener. I'm not going to allow people to make fun of you. I'm not going to allow people to say bad things about you. I'm not going to even read it on air. You did it. You got away with it. Congratulations, you managed to send me that email, but I just threw it away after I read it. So what was said was said. And I think that you need to have something done. You need to have something done to you. Or some kind of punishment. Or something. I was asked to turn in. One of the listeners here on the iVlog TV.com chat room wrote to me and said, is there a way to turn these people in? Some of these people are downright doing illegal activity towards you. They're threatening you, they're harassing you, they're bad-mouthing you, they're patronizing you, they're slandering you. And I told him, and wrote to him back and said, no. One, there's not. I can't do anything about it. Number two, I don't think I would, because that's freedom of speech. But some of the emails are now becoming very, very bad slander and very, very bad issues of bad-mouthing me to the point where it's almost threatening. Over issues that you should not threaten me. You should not bad-mouth me in such a degree that it feels threatening and feels uncomfortable. And I realize you people have your opinions, and I realize it's freedom of speech, and we've gone by freedom of speech since day one. I'm not going to deny you the freedoms to say what you want, or how you think, or your opinions. But when they get to the point of threatening, and they get to the point of uncomfortable, they get to the point where it's the inability to tell if you're honestly speaking your thoughts and opinions, or if you're going to do something stupid or dumb, that's where I'm going to draw the line here. That's why none of my emails are going to be read this week. Two of them telling me how I'm doing a good job. Big deal on that. But these emails are getting really out of hand, especially the ones about what I'm going to vote for and why. It's just unreal. There's something by the Supreme Court strongly suggesting that stun guns are protected by the Second Amendment right to bear arms. It tells 3 stories of people that have been harmed and have used a stun gun. We're going on to something else by now if you haven't figured that out. Have used a stun gun to defend themselves. And we're talking about stun guns as the electrical guns maybe the police officers carry. There's low voltage ones. There's ones that you can do that just give you a zap and make your body feel uncomfortable. I guess it's also in the works. But the Supreme Court, in the works of the state, actually, different states have made different laws. I know New York State, you cannot have something at a certain voltage. Some states say that it must have been a life-threatening situation. I don't understand how you can have a knife and a gun. It's okay, but a stun gun is not unless it's life-threatening. What are you going to use a knife and a gun for? To randomly go and attack people? It's going to be a life-threatening situation that you're going to use those in there too. But anyways, so the Supreme Court has this before them. Massachusetts, somebody had to obtain a permit, and she used it for her ex-partner. Now we see here in New York it's mentioned that in New York you're not allowed to use a certain voltage, and even then it's based on situational defense, it's called, of what your act of defense towards somebody else is, which I think is absolutely, I don't know what to call it. The situation could be anything. The Constitution right to bear arms declares that we have a right to bear arms. Now, it says guns, Back then, when the Constitution was written, it was guns. But what the argument is right to bear arms, as in what kind of gun? I mean, if you have a laser gun, are you allowed to use a Star Wars type laser blaster gun to defend yourself, or right to bear that against somebody? Or use it, or own it? I don't mean take an AK-47 and electrical cattle prod here and start going after people for, people that have hurt you or done bad things to you. But we have a right to protect ourselves, and that's basically what this law is a right to protect. Grudges have been made against people who have made similar laws in the past. I don't understand that at all. I don't understand why somebody would have a grudge against somebody for having a law. I don't understand how somebody could do that. I also don't understand why somebody would want to attack another human being in a way that they'd have to defend themselves with electricity. I don't understand it. Something about French wine and New York State's climate. I thought that was pretty interesting. Mention it real quick. They said the climate change has not affected any wine. Climate change is not affecting food. I sometimes disagree, but this is what the study says. At least here in New York. It talks about other places like Florida, the oranges in Florida. The corn of the Midwest are not affected by any of the climate changes. Pretty interesting. I just thought I'd throw that in there for people. Here's something else. In California, opposing laws of sexual assault here. Florida is having new laws of sexual assault. You see, New York's on the list. Thought I'd mention that. Sexual assault, they claim, is on the rise. I don't know how. I don't know why it's on the rise. Some of those law changes. Some driving law changes are happening. They're changing the laws about drinking and driving, which I think is absolutely wonderful. I think that we needed a change a long time ago, and we haven't gotten one. I have said for years that the drinking and driving laws need to change. I've said for years, anybody that drinks anything, but some people that are opposed to these laws, and they're not the ones that break the law, but they say that a person has a right to have a drink. Say you're going out and eating. Well, that's fine. That's fine. You're going out to eat. Maybe you have a glass of wine, a beer with your meal. I think everybody has contemplated that at least once in their life. But after 2 beers, I guess 2 glasses of beer with food is this 0.07, 0.08, some places 0.09, according to this thing here. But law enforcement says it shouldn't be tolerated at all. Congress and the government, so to speak, is saying that it's becoming an enormous problem where something has to be changed and something has to be done. I agree. It's tragic when somebody is hurt or killed because somebody is drunk driving and not being responsible. I do keep up on these laws, and I think that's very great if they do make it so nobody can have any drink or anything with a meal. But we gotta, the one person mentions here, we gotta have standards. And we gotta think about everyone. We can't just think of victims. We gotta think of everyone, and that's true. However, everyone out there could be a victim. So I don't know how we do this. www.thewadeshow.com is my email. Go up there, email me, talk about subjects, check out our archives. www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com. We're looking at a break right now. I'm going to answer the phones when we come back from this break. 607-238-3816 is the phone number. We'll be right back right after this. And we're back. we're back with the phones. So let's go to the phones right away, because as we know, we want to get the idiots out of the way. Let's go to the phones. Let's see here. I'm going to go randomly. Just I'm going to hit this one right here. Whatever. I'm just going to reach across and hit the button. Hello, caller. Welcome. Does that sound like somebody in the bathroom to you? Does? Oh my God, that sounded like somebody in the bathroom. For God's sake. What? Like they're in the bathroom, doing their business. What the hell is wrong with people? What is wrong with the people? As I take a drink, what is wrong with the people? Come on, folks, what is wrong with people? All right, let's go to the next caller here. Caller, hello, you're with us. Hello, caller. Okay, well, what? Silence on the phone. Silence on the phone. You can hear something faintly. Silence on the phone. It's crazy. What's with the silence on the phone? Anyways, let's go to the next caller. Caller, hello. Caller, hello. Are you there or not? Oh my God. OMG to the biggest. What the hell was that all about? Really? You have to make the noises in the phone again. You have to make butt noises, ass noises, farting noises, gas noises, noises with your mouth, whatever noise that was. You have to really do that. You honestly have to do that in my ears. My ears are ringing. Remember, folks, I have headphones on and my ears are ringing because of that. Maybe, perhaps, we could have somebody with intelligence call in. Perhaps, we could have somebody with an ounce of intelligence. Don't understand it. I don't think it's right. I don't know what the heck is going on with you people. I don't know why you people insist that this is funny, that this is something that's something that you can do, something that is acceptable to do that kind of noises on the phone. One more caller, one more here, then I'm done. Maybe I'll never answer the phone again. I don't know. I don't think that'll happen, but you never know, folks. One more caller. He's been, what is this? One more caller. As I look at the switchboard, I have two calls. Fine, let's go to two callers. Caller, hello. Oh, hi. Yeah. Is this Russ? Yeah. Thought I'd call in. What's with all that noise in the background? Oh, I'm watching TV. Yeah, I'm watching TV. You can't turn down the TV, Russ? No, I'm watching a show right now. Thought I'd call in and say hi. Okay, well, that noise I can hear. Oh, well, it's just a TV show. I just the TV. Well, listen, I can hear that, and so can the listeners. Well, yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's all right. Well, not really. No, well, why? Why? Well, they can hear your television right now, Russ. You realize that? No, it's okay. Okay. Fine, what's on your mind? Nothing, I just thought I'd call in and say hi. Okay, well, hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. All right, well, whatever, Russ. Have a great time watching your TV show. Oh, thank you, hi. All right, folks, that's Russ. Oh, boy. Russ is a good fan of ours. Russ is a good friend of ours, too. Calls in periodically like he just did. But you got to call in and have the noise in the background turned down. You got to have your TV shows off. You got to have the radio off. You got to just stop. Just sit somewhere and talk to me. That's all you got to do. Sit somewhere and talk to me. That's it. Sit somewhere and to talk to me. Okay, remember that. Let's go to the next caller. And then I see we got to go up for these PSA breaks that they're making us take. I got an email about this that I have to take breaks when I'm told to because they have their advertisements the networks want to play. I don't know. And me making fun of them for it is probably going to cost me because I'll probably get an email or a phone call from what's-her-name telling me that the sponsors don't like me saying that the PSAs are coming up. But guess what? I don't care about that. So let's go to the caller. Caller, hello. Does this sound like somebody snoring? Hello, wake up. Hello, are you there? Did you fall asleep while on hold? Hello? Hello, wake up. Caller. And I'm hanging up. The person is sleeping, I'm hanging up. I think that's pretty stupid. 607-238-3816 is the phone number to call in if you want to call in. www.thewadeshow.com is my website. www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com. And that brings us to me sitting here wondering what's going on with our audience members after all those phone calls. So, except for Russ, I don't understand what's going on, folks. We got some, as I shuffle through some papers here, some news, more news, more of what's going on with these elections, and I'm sitting here eating, taking a drink, and focusing on what's going on in the news with these elections. And it's just this week, as I said before, I'm not commenting anymore because I'm tired of the hate mail. Been going through it on the breaks as I normally do, but this half of the show, almost the last half of the show here, second half actually, I don't keep track, haven't been keeping track of this week's show. Second half, first half, whatever. I don't think you people actually care what half of the show it is. As long as you hear a toilet flushing, a fart noise, or some idiot calling in, and you get your news and information. So, as I almost choke on my delicious chicken wings here, and this blue cheese dressing is the best, folks. I have garlic, whole dozen. I have honey mustard, a whole dozen. And I have the mild, a whole dozen. So that's 3 dozen chicken wings I've been stacking down during the show. On the breaks. But since people want to call in and be funny and eat and snore on the phone, maybe I can eat through the show. Maybe that's something new I'll do. I'll sit here and eat and drink during the show, and you guys can live your life on the phone, and it'll be all happy and dandy for you. How's that? Is that something good to do? Is that something that we want to try? Is that something that we can progressively do now? That's something that we can have done? As I drip some honey mustard sauce on my pants. Great. Oh well. I guess that'll come out. And my iVlog TV chat room is laughing at me now. See, I haven't been paying attention to them tonight either that much. Because they pissed me off earlier. So, those guys almost have been ignored. So, let's get back to this election stuff. I don't know. I'm still for Donald Trump. But a lot of the other stuff that's happening. Bernie Sanders now, stuff coming out that he really doesn't have it all there. Stuff about Hillary Clinton coming out. Cruz coming out. Hillary and Donald Trump have been winning where they're supposed to be winning, or getting the votes they should in the caucuses in the states they should, I think. I think it's going to be a tough one. I don't really, I'm on the edge here because one word out of my mouth of my own personal opinion, I'm slandered and hated for. But that's the way it is in this business. Other news of terrorism, which I don't even like to bring up. I don't like to bring up the bad news of terrorism, but it happened. Let's see. Other news of fires happening. Why I was given these stories, I don't know. Some videos of kids being bullied and people standing up for it. One girl was suspended from school for standing up to a bully. Well, that's a big thing now. What do you want to talk about, folks? We're down to almost the last very half of the program here. Call in and let me know what you want to talk about. Let me know what you want to hear. Maybe you have something on your mind. 607-238-3816. www.thewadeshow.com. Send me an email. I do have 2 emails here that I was going to get to, but I'm going to get to them now. One is about PETA. The person is telling me that I don't understand the issue. The issue is not about touring and vacationing. It's about the animal's health, the animal's rights. Folks, don't give me that crap. Okay? Don't give me this crap. The health, the rights, the animal, If you think that's the case, then let's go free pit bulls. Let's go free German shepherds that are chained in people's backyards. Let's go free cats that are abused by the owners. What about snakes being abused by the owners in cages that are not acceptable for them? What about parrots, birds? The owners are mistreating them because they're not taken care of very well. Turtles and other reptiles are not taken very care of well. They're pets. You don't go after that stuff. You don't go after farmers that chain the cow to the fencing inside the barn so it'll stand up so they can milk it. You guys don't go after the people that abuse horses, training them to do barrel racing, training them to do other stunts for amusement. But you will go after somebody who has 2 nice horses that enjoy pulling a carriage with married couples in it. You guys will go after zoos that have brought back species from extinction. So this email is, and it's signed anonymous, obviously, because the person doesn't want to come forward. Obviously, anonymous means the person wants to hide. You're a coward and you want to hide. And you don't want to call into the program and have an honest-to-God conversation with me about this issue. The second email here is about the zoos and aquariums that animals do suffer, and it goes on to explain some things. Yeah, I realize that. This is a very good email. This is an example for the other coward that wants to hide. It signs it anonymous. This lady's name is Catherine. And Catherine wrote to me a whole 3 pages here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. The back is links and information that I can go up online and she actually put this stuff in here so I can go read up on it. But I already know about it. So she's crediting or giving credit for what her argument is here, which is wonderful. Too bad she's with PETA, because I would say this is a wonderful person, but they're with PETA, so I can't totally trust them. But I understand aquariums and zoos cannot provide for animals in their natural environment. I know they can take animals out of the environment and put them in. We've seen this with otters. We've seen this with beavers. We've seen this with certain deer species. We've seen this with bison, which are buffalo, American buffalo. We've seen this with exotic species where they will capture the babies of the species and bring them to zoos and raise them. And I understand that. I totally understand this kind of stuff. I totally understand how, personally, maybe, perhaps, somebody could say that these zoos and aquariums are not taking care of themselves. They're not taking care of the animals. They're not taking care of the responsibilities for having a decent home for these animals. The aquariums have been known to go out and get species that they said they rescued and keep them in the zoo for the rest of their lives, or the aquarium for the rest of their lives. We've seen this with SeaWorld. We've seen this with Marineland. Marineland was famous for doing rescues of animals. Eating more chicken wings as I talk. Taking rescued animals and keeping them in the aquarium, in the zoo building experience, so to speak, and not letting them back out once they became healthy. It was a big problem back in the 90s, early 2000 area. SeaWorld has also done this over the years with various animals, with their excuse being the animal was unable to be put back in its natural habitat. So it has to be put in captivity. It has to be exhibited. Or some of them are not exhibited. The reality is some are not exhibited. They're actually just kept somewhere in the back in a building. Like I said, the zoo building experience, which were so famous for elephants, that actually are put in these Asian elephant breeding program, and now the African elephant is in a breeding program. And they'll put them in buildings, and they'll have other elephants in the back that you'll never see, that are just for breeding, and the babies will be bred and kept in the back. But they're taken care of. Their nutrition, their health, their well-being is taken care of. Maybe unlike an aquarium where they may get a seal and keep the seal in a building with a small swimming pool to swim in, and they'll take care of its needs and its health, rehabilitation, so to speak, and then keep the species for their, mating or their breeding programs in the zoo, and then advertise that one of the seals had a baby or something, and they have a new species in the aquarium. Like I said, Marineland, SeaWorld, they got famous for this in the 90s. But I stick up for them, because I know some of these breeding programs and some of these things that they have done in rescues have made species even better. We see that with the manatee. We see that with several seal species, several of them. Several shark species, in fact. We even see this with dolphins. That dolphins in captivity are doing well, when really they claim they're not being. Oh, PETA claims that they're not doing well. Folks, they are doing well, and the proof is right there. Okay? And this stuff is public knowledge. Anybody can walk in if you do the way you're supposed to walk in and not be an idiot and a stupid moron about it. This is the only thing I don't like about this email, is it says that, the stuff is not public knowledge. It is public knowledge. It has to be. Any zoo has to have public knowledge of the animal species within its park, within its whatever you want to call it, within its property, the property. Now, they may just send you a letter of what's going on if you want to know something. But that's in the guidelines, the rules of this zoological type society, that it's supposed to be public knowledge. People don't realize that, but it's supposed to be. So if they're not making it public knowledge, either you're a moron and you're acting stupid and you're trying to get information by means that are unnecessary, unproductive, so to speak, unfathomable, so to speak, unnecessarily dumb, so to speak, and you're getting the information and you're pissing them off, making them believe that you're a total moron and that you're stupid and not wanting to cooperate, so they don't cooperate. Plus, these zoos also have to mandate an inspection. Just like the best way I can say this is that trucks that are driving across the United States every day, and we thank every truck driver out there for doing it. If it wasn't for the truck driver, we wouldn't have anything. But just like the trucking and the trucking industry and the truck drivers and the truck drivers industry, their business, the whatever you want to call it, has the Department of Transportation down its back at all times, and can be inspected, and information has to be given at any time. The zoos are the same way. They don't call them up like they do a restaurant from the health department and say, we're going to schedule an inspection. They walk on the property and say, there's an inspection today, because I've seen it. I stood there in the ticket line. Well, 3 gentlemen and 2 ladies, 5 people walked in and said, hi, we're here from such and such society, and whatever they did. I'm not going to say it because I don't got permission to broadcast where they're from. But it's big. Immediately, a supervisor was gotten, or management, or somebody in a suit and tie, for God's sake, came out and brought them probably to the back or the offices of the place. And while we're walking around in the zoo, this was actually an aquarium slash zoo slash roadside attraction, is more like it. But they were immediately on guard, and I did see them walking around, writing on their clipboards. And one of the ladies was having a serious discussion with one of the zookeepers about the exhibit. It did not look pretty. It did not look friendly. So, and coming from an entertainment background that I'm in, I've had an inspection before. I've dealt with several of them. And it's not friendly. It's not fun. They mean business. If you don't do what they tell you, it's just like a Department of Transportation inspection for a truck driver. It's not fun. It's business. And you do what they say, you get the information they want, or you suffer big time. Fines, penalties, whatever you want to call them when you suffer for not doing what you're supposed to do. The radio industry also has this stuff. The fire and ambulance and police, they have stuff like this. At one time, other industries of entertainment, I know now mixed martial arts, as I eat more chicken wings, and professional wrestling. And these chicken wings are good, by the way. Honey mustard and garlic. It's kind of all mixed together now. I keep the mild wings separate because I don't want anything to get really hot or unflavorful. But anyways, let's get back. So, these things are not fun. And now, mixed martial arts And professional wrestling is mandated at least in New York State, like anything else is. So it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be pleasant. It's not a good time, and it's not meant to be a good time. It's meant to be a time for doing what you're supposed to and them getting the information they're supposed to get. So that is our emails. I don't see anybody else on the phones. Either that or they just don't want to call in anymore. It'd be stupid. We go through periods like this. But 607-238-3816 is the phone number. And as I sit here, I begin to realize that I'm supposed to be coming up on a break. I don't want to come up on a break. I don't want to do the break. I could care less about the break. And again, I'm not supposed to say that. I'm really not. I can get in trouble for that. We're mandated to have these PSAs and other breaks. If you want any information about advertising, www.thewadeshow.com, www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com. We're going to take this break, and when we return, we're going to go into the very bottom and last, whatever you want to call it, half of the program. And I am going to finish these chicken wings that sit in front of me, because as I talk, I certainly can't talk with my mouth full, because that's hard for me to do this week at least. Last week it wasn't. So folks, we'll be right back, and we'll see what happens. As I lick my fingers, finishing up my chicken wings, your dumb emails really are sickening. This person writes here. Let me get it in front of me here. With my, by the way, my emails, the papers that I have in front of me are all covered in chicken wing sauce, and they smell like garlic. But this one is telling me that they'd rather hear me talk about Donald Trump than for me to talk about aquariums and zoos. And they'd rather vote for Donald Trump than go to an aquarium or zoo. Thank you for that. Thank you for telling me that. That is really encouraging. I love to hear that. I love to hear that you're going to vote for Donald Trump. But in all seriousness, that's stupid. In all seriousness, that's mentally disturbing. That's an idiot speaking, probably. I'm not even going to say the lady's name. And she's probably going to write me back for calling her an idiot, but I don't care. I don't care. As I sit here, we're going down to the last part of this program. So if you want to call in at 607-238-3816, www.thewadeshow.com is my email, and all of our archives are up there. All of our good stuff is up there. Check out our polls. We're going to the end of March. Our stories. Everything you want to know is up there. Everything you need to know is up there. Get up there and start checking the site out. www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com is the network's Renee's website. Renee, by the way, is the big boss up there. She's the big boss till I get in her office. And then she's got a great big smile on her face. And we won't discuss what goes on in the office. It normally ends with me walking out very pissed. It normally ends with me coming back here saying, why? Or me coming back here saying, I I got to come up with a better apology because she knows damn well that me saying I'm sorry, it'll change, probably isn't going to happen. Everybody knows that about me. The last half of this program, kind of, oddly enough, with all the chicken wing stained emails that I went through here reading them, no one's really insulted me enough where I gotta say it on air and make fun of them again like I did last week. Go up to my website also while you're up there. I have a Facebook, I have a Twitter, I have a YouTube account. We have the iVlogTV.com chat room, which I'm so pissed at. I haven't even been discussing it the whole damn time I've been here. Chat room has really pissed me off the last 2 weeks. I don't know if it is somebody in the chat room that's calling in and not being productive and doing stupid shit or not. I really wish there was a way to screen the calls. I'm working on that. I'm working on a very beautiful new studio. So I do the very best I can sitting here with a microphone in front of my face until that studio's done. But got to be a call screener out there. Somebody want to volunteer? Does anybody want to raise their hand? Any of my listeners raise their hand and volunteer? And somebody said Skype. No, we've tried Skype. The iVlog TV chat room. I just noticed somebody said Skype. No. I'm not going to say her name, but she's one of them that I'm still talking to in this chat room. No, Skype is not an option. We tried Skype and it did not do very well. We tried Skype and it didn't go as planned. We tried Skype and it's just not what I need. Now, Skype does have a number, which is awesome, but it's only as a last resort. 607-238-3816 is our number for now. That may change after the holiday. Holiday's right around the corner, by the way. So, but I don't speak about the holidays because I've learned that if we speak about the holidays, we get more shit on. But I will speak about it after it's over. After the holiday's over, I'll be glad to speak about it. I'll be glad to tell you what I think. I'll be glad to inform you of stuff. Well, something really quick I can mention about the holiday. The Easter basket for my daughter. Just walking down the aisle while the candy and stuff is. Not only does it make me want to go out to a bank and get out a loan, so maybe I could afford some of this candy, but I think I got diabetes just walking down the aisle alone, let alone eating any of the candy. And it's just unbelievable. It's worse than Christmas, worse than Halloween. And parents are not very nice. Parents are unreal. The unreal is the fact that two parents literally, as I was looking at candy, as I was reading it due to my daughter's health, you got to read some of the food products and some of the labels on the food before we give it to her. Like to interrupt, like to grab stuff off the shelf and knock into you. Others like to bitch and complain because you're standing there. Others don't know how to drive carts. Others don't know what the difference between a chocolate bunny is and my middle finger sticking up in front of them. Which we won't discuss that. But I hope you're out there listening. Because the next time you do what you did, I will give you the finger again. And having your children with you. Let's get something for Easter for the kid with the kid standing here and make it a surprise. Then let's lie to the kid and say some weirdo dressed up in a big bunny costume brought it to him. But that's my opinion on that. Easter is a religious holiday, and it's been that way all of my life. And they've ruined the Easter by having chocolate fish, gold coins that had Bible verses on them, chocolate, like, the wrappers are gold, crosses, and even went as far as having white chocolate Bibles in a little section of this candy aisle surrounded by literally pagan symbols, what I call it. It's horrible. I'd have put the biblical candy, as I called it, the religious stuff, in a whole nother aisle. Just done it in a whole nother aisle. Just something totally different, totally in a whole nother aisle. Something totally way down the road. Way down the road. Alright, our phone is lighting up here. Let's see if we can take these. If we do get callers like this, I'm just going to take them. So, caller, hello. I don't know what the hell that was over. You're out of here, buddy. I just cut you off, and I can see, that's disgusting. And you went for a few minutes after I cut you off because I heard you in my headphones. I heard you laughing in my headphones. See, I got a button here, folks. I'll remind you. I got a button that I just push, and you're gone. And you're off the air, so I can still hear you in my headphones. But you're done. And I can just talk right over you all I want. That's wonderful. Why would somebody call in and do that? Why would they do that? I have no idea. Something else I have no idea. No idea on why. As I adjust myself in my chair and try to get my headphones, taking my headphones off because there's no sense in having them. I have them so I can listen to the callers better. Really, that's honestly why I have them. But if you're going to make noises like that make my ears hurt, I don't understand. And that's the last half of this program. How long have you been sitting there listening to this program? And how long have you decided to call in and do that? Maybe you just tuned into the program. Maybe you just decided, maybe, and it's not a maybe, it might be a fact. As I try to figure this one out in my head here, how to explain it. You might be somebody from the iVlog TV chat room. And you heard the number, 607-238-3816. You heard the website, www.thewadeshow.com. And then you decided to call into the show. And do that funny little noise and laughter that you did. But, looking at this iVlog TV chat room, as little as I have tonight, I'm looking at it, and they're telling me it sounds like the same person from last week. So this may be a case of repeated stupidity, being an idiot again, being a moron again, being whatever I can think of to call you that legally I can say without getting myself in trouble here. I don't understand why you would do that. I just don't. I don't understand why you would. Maybe it's just me, but calling into a show just to make funny noises. No callers are going to call into the show and try to be productive. I know that maybe you would be productive, but so far it hasn't happened. Maybe you need, for some reason, to get attention Folks, if you want attention, you can call in and talk to me about anything you want. We'll give you all the attention you need. If you want attention, we'll let you speak. We'll let you do whatever you want. I mean, come down here to the studio and dance for all I care. Sing, jump around, have fun, live on the air. I don't care. But making funny noises, making rude gestures, and doing that laughter bullshit, it's BS bullshit, I can't think of another word for it, is not the way to get an intelligent response from us and get the attention that you need. Winding down to we're at the last half of the program anyways. Maybe you people just have nothing else to do in your life. I don't mind you listening to me. I don't mind you coming to the iVlogTV.com chat room. And the iVlogTV.com family up there, and all of us streamers and broadcasters and whatever we are, would love to have you over there, and we love to see you. We love to hear from you. We love it that you attend our shows. So I'm not knocking that any. www.thewadeshow.com, www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com. That's the websites that I want you to go out and check out. Check out mine first, because then you get a good part of the show, and then check out the networks, and you get a good feel for the network. And then go up to the YouTube, go up to the Facebook, go up to the Twitter, follow me, friend me, subscribe to me, and then subscribe to DiversityBroadcastingNetwork.com as well. Friend them, follow them, follow each other if you know each other, maybe. Who knows? From the iVlogTV.com chat room, which a lot of us do know each other and do follow each other and do friend each other and do subscribe to each other's stuff. And then look out for other shows that I have. I have archives on YouTube. I have archives on my website. So with that said, folks, that's your assignment for next week. Go up there, look over stuff, have something decent to talk about, because I'm going to have to head on out of here. So I'll see you guys next week. www.thewadeshow.com, www.diversitybroadcastingnetwork.com. I'll see you next week, folks. Have a lot of fun, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you don't want to have a lot of fun. It's your choice. Anyways, I'm out of here. Next show is great. Don't forget to listen to it. She has a wonderful program. I'm out of here. I'll see you next week.